Hello, it's me again, Bob Guerrero, and I have another guitar review for you. It's been a while, but this is a really special guitar. It's my first time in over 20 years to play a Martin. And as you can probably tell, this is not your ordinary looking Martin. This is a Martin DX Woodstock. And it has artwork from a famous poster of Woodstock, which for the millennials here was a huge music festival in 1969 where a ton of really famous acts played. And so this is Martin's way of commemorating that famous day in New York. And this is owned by my friend Glenver. And we're at his place. And he bought this for about $800 US, about 40,000 Philippine pesos, and we're gonna learn about it. So this is an X series, all right. So it is not a solid top guitar. It's not a solid anything guitar. This is an all laminate guitar. It's a high pressure laminate. That's what they call it, and that's the top. And then the back and sides, although they have this wonderful wood kind of pattern, but it's not real. It is laminate wood. And if you look at this neck, even the neck is also laminated. And there's more. As we look at the famous Martin headstock, there's an overlay also on top of that. Here's a detail of the back of the neck that's also been, it's like kind of like a birch laminate if I'm not mistaken. And there are a lot of other things to talk about here. This is not ebony. This is a substance called rich light. And rich light is, there's some wood in it, some processed wood, but there's also phenolic resin. Phenolic resin is a kind of plastic that is used for making billiard balls. And this bridge is also phenolic resin. I believe the saddle and nut are bone. I will double check that. It could be bone, it could be tusk. But yeah, this is a Martin. It's made in Mexico. Hecho en Mexico. And as you can see, it is not your typical Martin, but the question is, does it play like a Martin? The first time in 20 years I've got my hands on a Martin. My old band, we did record with a Martin that was owned by the recording studio, and I remember it to be a very, very nice sounding instrument, and I can't say that this one isn't. It has a very full dreadnought kind of sound, bassy, and excellent volume. Very focused, very balanced. For finger style. Finger style, I like it a lot. It's very playable. It has this high performance taper. I think it's a very shallow neck. If you've come from an electric guitar, you won't have any problems with it. And the action, it's actually pretty high. It's actually quite high on the 12th fret. But even though these seems to be gauge 12 strings, still pretty playable. This is a 1 3/4 inch nut, so there's lots of room I like this size of nut because I kind of have fat fingers, and I don't play with the thumb playing the bass string, so I like this one. The intonation's pretty good. This one's a bit off, the 7th fret on the G string. Bit sharp. This one as well. But very minor. This is about typical for most guitars that I play. 12th fret's a little bit better. So it has a very rich tone, very resonant. Complaints about this guitar. I would say the tone is bright, but when I pick up a Martin, I want to hear a really woody tone. And I don't quite hear it here. It sounds still a bit metallic for me, very bright. The sustain is really good. I mean, this is going to go on for a while. And it is bright, but maybe it's because it's kind of like a spruce. I believe it's a spruce HPL, so it has that very bright, chimey sound. So for me, I haven't played another Martin, a solid top Martin, in decades. But I would imagine you'd get more of a richer, woodier kind of tone if you got their higher end instruments, even if you got like a Rhodes series, which is already solid top. But it's easy to play, it's very playable. It just doesn't have that super woody tone that I'm looking for. And there's one flaw that I found in this guitar, and that's that this happens. That can happen. There's not enough space for the string to travel on the fret on the 3rd and the 5th. If you bend it, you might bend it off the fret. It's a small thing. I guess you could work around it, but in my opinion, for an $800 US dollar guitar, it's pretty unforgivable error. There needs to be a bit more space. But other than that, it is a very nice guitar. I think though it's not maybe not the best value, but it is a nice guitar. Now, how does it stack up with my personal all-laminate guitar, which is the Takamine GD11M-NS, and I have it right here. So this costs about 1/4 the price of that. Actually, yeah, about 1/4, maybe about 1/3 to 1/4. This was 8,500 pesos used, but they had a sale in the Philippine distributor and went around to that price for a while. The Martin comes with a Fishman pickup. This one has no pickup, but if you want one with a pickup, it will cost around $200. So it's around a little less than 1/4 the price of this. And this is how it sounds. I'll do it back to back with the Martin. Playing the same riff there from Kenny Loggins. So the Takamine for me doesn't have the volume or the resonance on the top end. There's definitely more brightness with the Martin, but for me this one, which is either mahogany or sapele but laminated, has a woody tone. So which one sounds better? For me, the Martin has better volume and better sustain. It's brighter. But this one, a bit mellower, a bit rounder, and for me, a bit woodier. And for me, much better value. I did review this guitar. It's on my channel. You can just scroll back a bit. But I did modify this guitar. I put the bone saddle and a bone nut here and an ivory pin. So this sounds a little bit better than the stock version, but the stock version did also sound quite good. And with this guitar, it doesn't slide off. There's a lot of space between the string and the end of the fret, which was the issue with the Martin. That's not the issue here. But this guitar has a thin neck compared to my other Takamine, the ED25SC-NS, but the Martin has an even thinner one. And I would have to say that I prefer the playability of the neck of the Martin. Very, very thin, very comfortable. This one's much brighter, but spruce tends to be brighter. I believe this is laminate spruce. I'd have to double check that. But very punchy. Very punchy basses. I like that a lot. It's great for solo work, even though the action is high, but there is a truss rod here. I would imagine it's a two-way truss rod, so you could definitely adjust that to make this lower. But for most of the stuff, if you're not playing on the dusty end of the fingerboard, it's perfectly okay, perfectly playable right out of the box. This hasn't been professionally set up at all. So a good guitar, it better be for the price, I think. It is it's got more brightness and resonance. I'm just missing the woodiness that I associate with the Martin guitars and what I've heard. But yeah, it's a Martin, and it's gonna be a real conversation piece, especially with this kind of artwork on it. There is a Fishman pickup. Unfortunately, I can't test it today. But yeah, the Martin DX Woodstock. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and hope to have more music and more guitar reviews coming up soon. Bye for now, and stay safe.